Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of your Conestoga Today, your go-to show for campus news, inspiring stories, and everything you need to thrive at Conestoga and its communities. Today we're diving into a topic that's on everyone's mind, career and job preparedness. Whether you're gearing up for internships, polishing your resume, or getting ready to ace that big interview, we have got you covered. And here's the best part. We're bringing you a live demo of an AI-powered resume writing tool that could take your job applications to the next level. So stay connected with us and never miss a beat. Follow ccdtv on all our social media platforms for exclusive content, behind-the-scenes moments, and more. Now, take a look at our YouTube channel. You have a lot of resources here that you could tap into and learn. Also on Instagram, we're an active community. Join our vibrant community and enjoy our behind-the-scenes content and engage with us for sure. Now, as we approach the end of February, excitement is in the air as we prepare to honor the hard work and dedication of our graduates. From February 24 to 28, 2025, the Benjamins Conference Center in Kitchener will come alive with joy, pride, and the shared accomplishments of our students. Each day of convocation is meticulously planned to celebrate graduates from various schools and programs. Now here's a snapshot of the schedule. On Monday, February 24, School of Business graduates will take the stage. On Tuesday, February 25th, we'll celebrate the School of Applied Computer Science and Information Technology and Creative Industries. On Wednesday, February 26th, we will honor graduates from Health and Life Sciences and Trades and Apprenticeship. On Thursday, February 27, continue with trades and apprenticeship programs. And for a detailed breakdown of ceremony times and specific programs, please visit the Conestoga Convocation schedule. You can be part of the joy of celebrating graduation because it's a monumental milestone, not just for the students, but also for everyone, their families and friends who have supported them throughout their journey. So to make this event even more memorable, you can attend the ceremony, join your friends to celebrate, and then you go on to Benjamin's Conference Center to celebrate with your friends. It's a moment to witness your loved ones walk across the stage and celebrate their achievements. Of course, we have a virtual participation opportunity for anyone who wants to join virtually, so you don't have to worry if you can make the trip down to Benjamin's. You can live stream, allowing you to join the celebration from the comforts of your home or wherever you are. And for details on that, you can find that on Conestoga Convocation page. Of course, what is a convocation without some snapshots and selfies? Of course, you have to enjoy every moment by taking those beautiful selfie pictures. Encourage your graduate friends to take plenty of photos in their gowns and caps and share those moments on social media using the hashtag #ConestogaGrad2025 to connect with the broader Conestoga community. Of course, if you want to get involved as well, you can volunteer. There are volunteer opportunities. Be part of the event by volunteering. It's a rewarding way to engage with the community and support the graduates. Information on volunteering can be found on the Conestoga events page. And graduates, you can stay connected. Join the Conestoga Alumni Association to keep in touch and access a network of professionals. To all our soon-to-be graduates, this is your time to shine. Your perseverance and commitment have led you to this moment. As you step into this next chapter, remember that the Conestoga community stands behind you, cheering you on. For more information on the convocation ceremonies, including gown registration and frequently asked questions, please visit the Conestoga Convocation page. Now, let's all come together to celebrate the class of winter 2025. For a glimpse into the convocation experience, check out this video from our previous ceremony.
On behalf of the Board of Governors and the Conestoga College community, here assembled are the 2024 candidates for graduation.
2024 graduates of Conestoga College. May the happiness you feel today be with you always. May your sense of accomplishment encourage you to strive for even greater accomplishments in the future. And may your families, your colleagues, and your communities benefit always from the skills you have learned here and your ability to use them for the good of all.
Those moments filled with tension and breakthroughs. truly defined our journey today.
Please join us in one last tribute to our class of 2024.
Something big is about to happen, Conestoga. Sustainable Development Goals SDG Week is happening from March 3rd to 7th, and trust me, you don't want to miss out. This isn't just another week of lectures and workshops. I know that those could sometimes be boring, but this time is about real action, real impact, and of course, real change. You've probably heard about the 17 Sustainable Development Goals like climate action, gender equality, clean energy, and reducing waste. But here's the thing, none of those goals will happen if we just sit back and wait. And that's why Conestoga is stepping up and making sustainability everyone's business. Conestoga has packed 21 events into one power-packed week, and these are hands-on workshops, eye-opening panels, and interactive sessions where you can actually do something about the issues that matter to the environment, our habitat, our earth, our home, and even our environment. So whether you're into business, healthcare, tech, or just want to live a little greener, everyone can come together to advocate for sustainability. Where do we start? There are a few steps you can take right now to participate in the SDG Week. Now, if you come over here, you see we have a lineup of events for you, a couple of events, so you can sign up, pick one, pick 5, register for all of the activities if possible. Whatever you decide to do, please show up. Then tell a friend to register and buddy up to attend together. Let's make this a movement, not just a moment. And in case you're wondering, why does this matter? I'll tell you. The world isn't going to fix itself, but imagine if everyone did one thing this week. Attended at least one SDG session, started one new environmentally responsible habit, or sparked one important conversation. We would move forward towards preserving our mother nature and, of course, build a healthier and sustainable world. Now, that's how change starts, and that's how we can make a real difference. So are you in? Let's do this. Register, participate, act now. See the details on the screen. Now, to some cherry news, our cybersecurity programs have just been ranked second in Canada for 2025, and we couldn't be prouder. According to CoScompare, a leading education marketplace, Conestoga is one of the top choices for cybersecurity certification in Canada. CoScompare evaluated 15 colleges and universities and gave Conestoga a top spot for its cutting-edge curriculum, hands-on training, and real-world approach to cybersecurity. According to CoScompare, Conestoga's cybersecurity program is developed to address the most pressing challenges in the field, helping students develop the expertise needed to prevent cyber threats and safeguard critical systems. With its industry-backed curriculum, courses are designed with inputs from industry experts, making sure students learn the latest in cybersecurity. Students get hands-on learning, from interactive coursework to capstone projects that solves real-world security challenges. They get practical experience that employers seek for. At the end of the program, students are career-ready graduates, and it doesn't matter what field you're in. Whether you are a penetration tester, security analyst, or forensic investigator, you'll be set up for success. In Canada, it is projected to have 150,000 job openings in cybersecurity by 2031, meaning skilled professionals are high in demand. Now, according to Jim Edwards, Dean of the School of Applied Computer Science and Information Technology, ACSIT, he says, Conestoga is leading the way in cybersecurity education. The school offers a variety of programs, including information technology, network security, computer application security, cybersecurity response planning, financial technology, and blockchain application development. As an experiential learning environment, ACSIT students at Conestoga have access to advanced technologies in our classrooms and labs, said Edwards. With hands-on experience using equipment from top cybersecurity vendors like Palo Alto, Juniper, Cisco, and more, our learners are ready to tackle industry challenges. And even more exciting is a brand new dedicated cybersecurity lab and classroom are almost complete. So, if you're looking to launch a career in one of the fastest growing fields in tech, Conestoga is a place to be. And now, Conestoga is right at the heart of sustainability. Another good news for us, Conestoga. The Accelerator Center AC, in collaboration with Conestoga's Gig Lab, is launching the UN Sustainable Development cohorts of the AC Studio program, all thanks to a $3.9 million grant from the Government of Canada through FedDev Ontario. This initiative will support 4 to 6 early-stage startups dedicated to solving global challenges in clean energy, agri-tech, electric vehicles, and more. Entrepreneurship is on the decline, and that's a problem not just for the economy, but for tackling critical global issues. Ruth Kesselman, the CEO of the Accelerator Center, says, the continuation of the AC Studio program is a critical pathway for startups to build innovative, impactful businesses right here in Ontario. With a strong focus on the UN Sustainable Development Goals, this program isn't just about business, it's about making real difference. At Conestoga, sustainability is more than a buzzword, it is a commitment. The Gig Lab will play a key role in helping these startups grow, providing essential resources and industry-level support. We believe empowering entrepreneurial talent is key to a sustainable and innovative future, said Rose Masnak, director of the Conestoga Entrepreneurship Collective. Through the Gig Lab and Gig Marketplace, we're equipping startups with the tools they need to succeed. Now, startups get about $100,000 in seed funding grants, one-on-one mentorship with top advisors, technical support in product development, marketing, UI, UX, and more. This is really a great idea. It's about building businesses that shape the future. Applications are open from April 30th, so if you're interested, send in your applications. And for more details, visit www.acstudio.ca. Now we take a break. When we return, we do have a guest who will be helping us dissect all the concerns on job preparedness. Stay tuned, Conestoga. We will be right back.
We're currently sitting in my studio space.
I started through discovering just different worlds of art.
Very quickly, it changed from statistics to poetry.
Connects my senses and it connects my brain.
I'm just making things that I think are cool.
More often than not, people are supportive.
How are people going to experience this, and what scale do things need to be?
The freedom was liberating for me to do something that I just love doing.
Still trying to figure out what my artistic career is. Who knows where I'll be in 2 years, 3 years. Who knows where I'll be in like 10 months, you know?
That's great.
Yeah.
There's a lot of challenges.
I'm supposed to be looking at you.
It's good to have you back now. Moving into a new country, a new career landscape, and navigating it all with confidence sounds like most people's dream, right? Well, our guest today has turned that dream into reality for countless newcomers. She's the powerhouse behind the successful newcomer, a career coaching expert, and a driving force in the Change Venture Studio initiative, championing AI as a force for positive change. And if that wasn't impressive enough, she's also played a key role in the creation of Hey Ola, an AI-powered app developed in collaboration with Gambit, designed to revolutionize our career success for newcomers. From AI to career breakthroughs, we are diving into the future of work and how technology is reshaping opportunities. Please join me welcome Ola Miche to the show.
Thank you for having me. It's lovely.
Oh my God, it's good to have you here, Ola. And how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm looking forward to the next few days where we're going to go into the positives in terms of the weather. So
yes. Oh my God, February has been a little hard and harsh. Come on. Well, actually, I thought you were looking like your AI resume coaching tool. Like, hey, Ola, you know those animated looks, right? Yeah. Okay, so let's dive into today's conversation. It's something that I'm happy about because convocation happens in just a few days. We have students who are looking forward to joining the job market. And we know that today it's a little tougher than before to secure the unicorn job. People say, oh, the dream job, the unicorn job. But first, let's even start with that. As a young graduate leaving school and aspiring to get your unicorn job, what should be the very first thing you should do?
So, thank you. That's a great question, actually. And I think that's a question we tend to take for granted, honestly. In anything at all, not just even looking for a job, your first step should be a self-assessment. You know, where try to learn a bit more about yourself. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Even your environment, what's available in the environment. Do some research, right? What are those things in the environment that might work against you? Not for you to approach life from a pessimistic perspective, but from a more informed perspective, so you can manipulate.
For sure, manipulate things
that might work against you, and prepare yourself to better respond to things that might come up. So I would say a self-assessment is the first thing, and there's no need to overthink that. Just take a sheet of paper, or maybe on your laptop, or whatever works for you. What are the things that people say is amazing, about me? What are those courses that I really excelled at? And for the ones that I excelled at, what did I do to make me excel at it, right? So sometimes you're excelling at different courses. It's not the course, it's something about you. Maybe you like analysis, maybe you like research, maybe you're excellent at writing, maybe, whatever it is about you, try to identify, take some time, do that. And then also, don't forget, you have to face those weaknesses. What do I struggle with? What have I received feedback on in the past that I wasn't happy about, right? What were those areas where I usually would get constructive feedback from my instructors? What were my colleagues, group members saying about me? Things like that. I think that's a good place to start for anyone looking to start their career in the next few weeks or months.
Amazing. So I will ask another question from what you just said. But first, let me say this. Conestoga is really we try our best to ensure that students are exposed to career tips and even prepare them for the job market. I hear people often say that, I have turned in 250 applications. I haven't got a call for an interview. And I'm wondering, how can you make so much effort to write 250 what's it called? applications? Maybe you're filling out your resumes and then you're writing cover letters and they don't get a single call for interviews. So could you please help me address what are those mistakes that students often, and maybe not just students now, even professionals, what are those mistakes that we make on our resume? Yeah, and that's another excellent question. I have to say though, I graduated from Conestoga College in 2022 now, so I am an alumnus of Conestoga College. And you're also a professor here too? Yes, I teach part-time in Conestoga College. Great. I've been on break for a couple of semesters now, but I also teach part-time. And so that's a good question. I feel like one of the and I have a number of personal stories regarding this, one of the most important mistakes is that first thing we talked about, not doing a self-assessment. So you don't know how to present yourself well on your resume. Also, not doing that self-assessment is going to affect the way you view yourself. And either you like it or not, it's going to affect the way you're presenting yourself on your resume. If you view yourself as all that, like any organization would be fortunate to have me, there's a way you write about your skills that would filter through, your resume. The other thing that I'm seeing is not doing enough research about the space. So maybe if you're trying to get into an industry, you're not doing enough research about that industry. What's trending in this industry? What's important to the people in this industry? What are the metrics in this industry? So that you know what to write on your resume. Another thing is, and this is something that I know very personally, which affected me before I moved to Canada, is language. So many times, and this is, I feel like people who are English speakers are very guilty of this. So we feel like, is it not English? So I'm of Nigerian descent, so I would sometimes dive into that style of speaking, right? We go, is it not English? I'm going to, just type things and write things about my work, not knowing that language might differ from country to country, the use of language. Are we saying lingo now or language itself? Okay, so I don't know. What I mean by language is, for example, so let me tell you a personal story. When we came into Canada as skilled workers, and one of the processes is you have to get a reference letter from your employer to show that you are eligible for the pathway you're trying to go through. So there's some occupation codes, right? So I selected my occupation codes. All I did was to get my reference letter from my employer, and I submitted it just like that. I didn't make any adjustment. I didn't write a letter of explanation, and our application got delayed. So I made an inquiry, and I found that my eligibility for that occupation in Canada was being questioned. That's when I went back to look at my reference letter. And I saw that even though the reference letter says exactly what the occupation code says in terms of job description, the language was different. A key example is for a savings account in Nigeria, we call them liabilities. So that's what was on my resume, on my reference letter. But in Canada, it's called something different. It's called maybe even just savings account, right? So I had to write a letter of explanation to decode every language. Honestly, I had to do that. We would call loans and credits assets because it's the bank's money with customers and we're getting money on that, right? So what I'm trying to say is we need to pay attention to those little nuances here and there. I've also noticed that in Canada, language, so is that lingo or language? Tell me. Lingo. What happens with lingo, right? Yeah, okay. Because of course it's correct in the context. Okay. But then you need to understand what is applicable. Yes, yeah. You get it. So I should say lingo going forward. Okay. So the lingo from industry to industry can differ.
right? So also even tools that people use, industry to industry, sometimes they are very good with Excel, but the industry, maybe in a particular organization or in the job posting, they're asking for Google Sheets. It's the same skills, right? If you put Excel, the ATS might miss you. So all of these tiny things here and there, we tend to overthink the mistakes, like, oh, it's the format, which is also important, right? Or it's the details of which is also important. But these little things are some of the things that I've seen that people, tend to struggle with, even when every other thing is right with their resume.
Okay, so going back to your first response to me when I did ask the question on people writing about over 200 resumes and not getting calls for interviews. It said that people are driven by the need to find a job that can suit them, or a job that let me rephrase. I'm very clear what I'm trying. So what I'm saying is it's more like saying people are maybe just driven to looking for any job that they can fit into, rather than having a job that fits into them. I don't know if I'm making sense to you. In other words, are you saying that once you are able to get that clarity about what you want, what a dream job is, then you can go for it? Or is it okay for you to just go ahead and keep sending your resumes to different industries within your field for a particular job? Because I'm just thinking about the extended time it takes for you to job hunt before you eventually get a job.
Yes. So I usually try to be very realistic.
Okay.
When I'm talking to people, it's very easy for us to say, oh, go after your dream job. Just keep going. Just, target that job. But we also have to remember, particularly within the context of people who might be graduating from Conestoga College, they've made a lot of investments in their education, right? Yes. They've made a lot of sacrifices, in the process of getting that education. You're just ready to start earning something also. And also there are bills for people to pay. And it can also
be a temporary goal to reaching the bigger ones.
To reaching bigger ones. So I would not tell people to not take a job. Like if something comes, it's lower or it's like a survival thing, I wouldn't say that you shouldn't take it. But I usually tell people, don't get stuck, right? Don't get stuck there. So it's very important. And regarding people sending out 250 resumes, there are times when, if you notice that you've been applying for a long time and nothing is happening, pause. You know how sometimes as human beings, you're doing something, it's not working out, you just keep going, let me just keep trying, thinking that's what's going to help you. Many times you keep driving yourself into the same hole and there's no solution in sight. But this has happened to me, this has happened to a number of people that I've chatted with. There are times when if you pause and you go take a look at the resume you've been sending out, you might see a huge mistake on that resume. You might see a huge mistake on your cover letter. So it's very important to pause, decongest, and then go back and look at your resume, look at your cover letter, look at your style, all of those things. Also regarding, I don't know if we'll get to that with questions as we go along. I just wanted to quickly mention that we talk about tailoring a lot. And the easiest answer would have been, oh, people are applying for 250 jobs because they're not tailoring your resume, right? Their resumes, right? But I'm also not an advocate of tailoring every resume. It's tough.
It is.
It's time consuming, right? Which is where AI comes in, but we'll talk about that later. Mm-hmm. It's tough, it's time consuming. So my suggestion is, if it's a job that's really high profile, commensurate with your experience, skills that you really want, maybe you can, not maybe, you should absolutely tailor for every job like that. But if it's more like a survival job, where maybe like a customer service job, that's and this is not to say I'm a customer service advocate, like it's a passion for me, right? But I'm saying if it's like a really entry level job, you can create a resume that fits a number of different roles within the customer service space, and just make minor adjustments when you want to apply for different jobs. But if it's a really, management or supervisory or, whatever the job is for you, whatever it is, it can even be entry level, but your real industry of interest, then you really want to be sitting down and tailoring that resume every time you put in an application. So that's my stand. Okay. Does that answer your question, though?
I mean, superbly.
Okay.
And now let's talk about AI, because, thanks to all the AI tools we now have, ChatGPT, and of course your Hey Ola. We will come to Hey Ola shortly. But I have an HR professional, as my cousin is an HR professional of a multinational, and she often tells me, oh my God, like it's even tougher now to decode or to identify the resumes that actually speak to the roles. because they all seem to have, you know, similar descriptions, and people use AI well these days. But then how, I mean, I'm not saying you should help with the HR part, but for candidates who want to stand out, how do you create that standout resume that is tailored to the role? Even though you've used an AI tool, how do we also input some human elements to it so that it looks like it wasn't just written by a robot, but a human being who truly has passion and commitment to this role?
I know I'm beginning to sound like a broken record, but that's an excellent question. Another excellent question. I see AI as an assistive tool. It's not going to do, it shouldn't do, it can do the work for you if you just say, oh, do a resume for me for this industry, right? It's something that should support you, right? I use AI as my personal assistant. That's how I use, that's what I call it. Everybody that knows me knows that. Like, you use your PA, right? Yes, I did, right? So my suggestion is tell the AI your story. And I know that there are safety concerns. So I'm not saying go put your social insurance number on AI. No, I'm not saying that. But tell the AI your story. Tell the AI what makes you do that work. You know, tell the AI what makes you tick. For example, if you've done that first task of learning more about yourself, doing an analysis of your strengths, your weaknesses, the opportunities you think are available to you, you know, threats that might work against you, all of those things, put those things on your AI tool. Tell it your story, where you're coming from, what you're interested in, what makes you tick, you know, some of the things you've learned in your career, some of the projects you've done in school, what you love the most, your achievements, you know, different things. Just tell it about yourself, right? And then you can then say, oh, help to apply or tailor my resume to this job, right? What that also helps with is you're able to write a fantastic cover letter with the help of AI, right? So I would say tell it your story, train it to know you, and don't ever take the first response that the AI gives to you. I always say this.
Yes.
Don't ever take the first response, and don't ever just send the resume like that. Even after telling your story, when it does produce something for you, take the time to sit down and look through it. Does this represent me?
Now, Ola, can we see that magical app you created, Hey Ola? Now, you said is an AI resume coach.
Yes.
So what exactly prompted you to create Hey Ola?
It was just in a bid to replicate myself. Because I kept getting questions. At some point, I started to feel guilty because I couldn't respond to everybody that would reach out to me. Yes, there are resources, there are workshops, there are webinars, but one thing we've noticed with those workshops is it's also humans driving them. They're also burning out, number one. And then also many people don't recognize where we're coming from in terms of our experiences. And even that some of those mistakes we make, like the language lingo thing that I shared with you earlier. So we wanted to create something that can support people who are new to Canada and that where they don't know what they don't know, right? So AI, Hey Ola knows what you don't know and can help you to plug those knowledge gaps. So that's what we wanted to do. I wanted something that would be available to people any time of the day. You don't need to book an appointment. Just go on and get it.
So is it free?
At this time, it is. At this time, it is. It's only going to be available for a short period of time while we figure out next steps. But for now, it's free.
Okay, so let's see. Hey Ola, get to work. We're going to pull up some. Yes. We're going to pull up some job vacancies, right? Yeah,
I do have a job vacancy here on my laptop. So this is the platform, the Hey Ola platform, and we have a few sample questions because we also notice that people sometimes don't even know what to ask.
True.
Right.
So, they don't know how to tell their own stories.
Yeah, sometimes the story, maybe don't even know where to start, you know. So we don't want you to feel overwhelmed. We know where you're coming from. Life can be overwhelming as a newcomer, right? So there are sample questions and you can just click on one of these questions. So what I'm just going to do is I'll just click on a question and click this button that I just did. That's
What's the question you clicked at?
Can you help me rewrite my resume for a specific job?
Awesome. Okay.
So the tool Hey Ola comes back with a few questions. So this is the beauty of Hey Ola. It doesn't make assumptions about you, right? It tries to understand you so that it can give you support that's tailored to you, right? In some cases, it could even say if you're comfortable, or it's even here. So it says here, can you share the job description here, or the key requirements for the position? Do you have your current resume available? So, and then you can upload it. And then to help me provide relevant guidance only if you're open to it, can you share what's your country of origin, right? In terms of how we all use language, right?
Sure.
Just to be able to understand that and be able to provide support. So what we will do here is to share the job posting, which is I just picked this out from the region of Waterloo. I'll copy that. It's a project coordinator job posting. I'll copy all of that. It can also read links. So I don't even need to copy all of that. I can actually just copy the link.
Oh, amazing.
It can read links. So I can say, here is a link. Okay. Link to the job posting. And here's, so you can choose, so there are two things you can do. You can choose to upload your resume using this plus button, or you can copy and paste your resume, right? So what I'll do here is that I have something here, just a dummy. I can't use people's actual resumes. So we just created a dummy resume. And you can just copy that resume and paste it. The other thing I've noticed with the use of AI is we tend to think, oh, when I make a mistake, I can't go back. If you make a mistake, you learn from it and you try something else if it doesn't work. Okay. So I've just said, here's the link to the job posting and here's my resume. And I'm just going to scroll down to see what it's going to say. Okay. So this is the response. So thank you for providing that. Can you see that? Okay, we can see that. So it's providing you feedback on each section of your resume. So it's going to tell you, so it's saying, let's tailor it specifically to the job requirements. So it's talking about, how you're a project coordinator, you have managed multiple projects. So it's speaking the language of the job posting now. If we had time, we would go back to the job posting and see that you would see, stakeholder engagement. If I could just do a Control F here, stakeholder, see? So that's language like that, it's there. And then it's using language that's on the job posting. This is helping
it get, becoming ATS compliance, right?
Yes.
It's aligning their
It's helping
results.
with that.
Yeah.
If you also notice now, it's rewritten the job descriptions, right? So coordinated multiple projects simultaneously, ensuring successful execution within time and budget. So one other thing is people tend to write their job description and it's not smart. So I usually tell people use the so what method. When you write a job description, a bullet point, ask yourself, read it and ask yourself, so what? What happened as a result of what you did? So if you look at this, coordinated multiple projects simultaneously, many people sometimes say, coordinated 100 projects, and that's it, right? But it now says ensuring successful execution within time and budget, right? So
those keywords.
Just keywords. Interestingly, if it produces something for you, I am not 100% satisfied with this, honestly, because I wanted to have some metrics. So you can actually then say that I can't see any metrics in this resume.
Okay.
Metrics in this resume. Please. Oh, I do this. You don't have to say please to your AI. It's just me.
you use kind words. You're polite. You're pathetic.
I said please. I said emotions. It's so bad. It's so bad. See, now we have something different. It's saying successfully managed 5 concurrent projects with a combined budget of $2.5 million, delivering 100% on time and within budget. I don't think there's any hiring manager who wouldn't love that, especially if it speaks to the job, right? So this is how you can actually use AI for your own benefit. Another thing I would say is you can actually just go here and say, I love to read, I do this, I do that. I've also done this project. I volunteer in this organization. Things that are not on your resume right now. And then you can tell it to rewrite your resume based on that or write a storytelling-based cover letter for you.
Wow. Can we try that out now and see what the result will be?
Okay, so I can say I have lived in the region for 4 years and I love dogs. I'm just saying whatever. Tell me anything. And capital projects. That's it. Projects. Please write again. Write me a storytelling, and then don't worry about the typos and all of those things.
Okay.
It's gonna correct it. It's to say it. Cover letter for this position. Oh, I should have said. Aha. So if you're looking at, you can't see it well, I know, but I can tell you what it's saying. So, dear hiring manager, 4 years ago, I embarked on a journey that will change my life forever. As I drove into Waterloo region for the first time, my loyal companion, a golden retriever named... And I do this actually. If I have done my research on the hiring manager and I know that they're a dog lover, I'm not a dog lover right now, but I'm saying if I were a dog lover and they're a dog lover, I would speak to that in my cover letter. I would. It's human beings reviewing your cover letter, right? I would. So if you don't like this, you can tell you, oh, that's too much, that's going too far, that kind of thing. Please readjust it. I would like you to limit it to this amount of time. So give it instructions, and then it's going to help you to write something that truly, truly represents you and puts your best foot forward.
That's amazing. Now, how can we, I know that Hey Ola has demonstrated to us that this is a bit of an authentic work, right? Having brought out such, at least human-oriented results. I can't read it and say, okay, it's all AI. There's some human elements. But let's talk about interviews now. When students, oh my God, I keep saying students, because now they're graduates, and now we're going to be professionals, right? So when professionals go for interview, because remember, we're not just talking about resume writing, we're also talking about interviews, how to prepare for those interviews as well. How can you sell yourself to either an HR recruiter or the recruiter itself? How can you sell yourself in the way that you are the preferred candidate? What are those key things that you must talk about or share about to give yourself an edge over others?
That's a great question. I would say, again, research.
Research.
Learn about the organization. And it starts from the point where you get invited for the interview. And I have met somebody who attended one of our workshops who said, oh, I wish I attended this workshop earlier because I got invited for an interview. I didn't acknowledge the invite. And I was supposed to acknowledge it so they would know that they need to show up at the interview. So it starts from that point where you're saying, where you're acknowledging, the invitation enthusiastically, right? At that point also, if you have any questions regarding, if there's something that's not clear, if you'd like to ask about who you'll be meeting, ask those questions. It's always great to know who you're meeting so that you can do some research on them. Try to find out what they like. Because at the end of the day, humans are working together. Technical skills can be learned, right? But people need to know if you're someone that they can work with. So when you go for that interview, you want to be showing up as someone who people can work with, right? Who has excellent soft skills, who is confident. You really have to be showing up confidently. And I have to mention here that many times when people feel palpitations at the beginning of an interview, they see it as a sign of not being confident. I had palpitations before we started this conversation, and I do this a lot. I have conversations like this a lot. So it's not a sign that you're not confident. It's a sign that you're human.
Of
right?
course.
So right through it, show up confidently. Remember that you have the skills, right? And then when you're sharing about your skills, use language that they understand. Language that's relevant to the industry, not language that's flying over people's heads. Try to stay away from jargon. Also, one other thing that's important about knowing who you're meeting is there are times when you're having a conversation with the first person and it's not the hiring manager. It's the recruiter, maybe a general recruiter, who doesn't have an in-depth knowledge of the job requirements. So if you're using the job jargons, you're just going to throw them off. And nobody likes to admit that I don't understand what you're saying, and then you can slip through the cracks. So know who you're meeting. If it's a general person who might not really understand the job, feel free to ask them sometimes. I'll be very happy to clarify that for you if there's anything you want me to clarify. Try not to use too much jargon. Try to use language that everybody can understand. Try to quantify your achievements when you speak, and try to... So sometimes when we're using storytelling, you talk, and you forget the point. You forget the point. Always have a mental checklist. Don't forget your mental checklist. As you're speaking and using storytelling, ask yourself, have I shared the metrics? Have I shared what happened as a result of, me taking the steps? Have I shared the specific steps that I took to get this work done, right? I would say use stories in responding, but don't forget your mental checklist. So your mental checklist is your SMART, which is your situation, the task, your STAR. Did I say SMART the other time? It's STAR.
Yes, STAR.
STAR. So your situation, the task that you were charged with, the actions that you took, and the results. Never forget that. There are times now they've included L, which is learning, but I always have learning as part of my result anyway. So if whatever works for you mentally, if you feel like you wouldn't be able to include learning, if you don't have the L there, then put it there as your mental checklist. And don't forget to share all of that as you respond to questions, and connect on a human level. Right? Don't be afraid of small talk. Learn those small talk skills.
I'm glad we still have a little more time, so I'm going to ask you this very important question, Ola. Oh, yes, please, feel comfortable.
Okay.
How do we manage rejections? Because that's inevitable, right? You go for an interview, you did your best, but you turned out not to be the best candidate for the role, and so the company sends you a rejection letter. How do you manage rejection? Is it possible for you to go back to that same company if you truly want to work there and find some way to resell yourself and get the job that you want to get?
I'm sure you've noticed that I always have a long answer to short questions. So I'm going to give you a long answer to this. Number one, I would say the fact that you were not chosen for a job does not mean that you're not the best person for the job.
Okay.
That's very important to know. It's just humans are looking through these things, right? So humans make mistakes, humans miss things, people get tired, so just also that takes me to my next point about it's not about you. Well, sometimes it could be about you. Maybe you didn't do well at the interview, right? But rejections are never really about you like that, right? It's not like you, and if it's about you, if it's about a mistake you made, be bold enough to review your performance at that interview and face yourself, tell yourself the truth. This is how I could have done better. There are times when I've had conversations and I've thought, oh, I didn't share that. I could have shared this, right? And I learned this from someone, I can't remember who it was, but I went for a session a couple of months ago where the person said, ask for feedback right after the interview, not after you were not chosen, or not after learning that you were not chosen for the job. Ask for feedback right after the interview.
On the spot.
Not on the spot.
Okay.
Maybe when you get back, as part of your thank you note. Thank you for having. Of course, have we talked about? Everybody knows that you need to send thank you after every interview.
Not everybody knows that, so please tell us now.
Let's make that clear. Let's make that clear. You have to send thank you after every interview, right? But also, you can say. If there's anything you'd like me to note regarding any areas of improvement, feel free to share and I'll be happy to hear from you. Something like that. Something as simple as that. This is even where you can use AI to say, I would like to ask for feedback after my interview. Draft me something that's professional without being too forceful. I do that with my AI. So ask for feedback. And there are some organizations. So this is where you also need to read about the organization. So on that job posting or on their general job page, read about it. I feel like we don't read enough. And I know that not everybody has that desire to read, and some people have other struggles that stop them from reading. I acknowledge that. I honor that. Well, where you can, try to read, because some organizations would have on their job page that if you have applied for a job in this role within the last 6 months and you were not chosen, do not bother to reapply. There are some like that, but there are some that would, even in their rejection email to you, they would say, keep your eye open for other opportunities on our page, and we'll be happy to hear from you, something like that, right? Even though we know it's a general email, but there are times where you have applied for a particular job in an organization, and a few months down the line, you get invited for an interview or you get an opportunity in the organization. There are times where you apply for 2 jobs in an organization. You get rejected for one, and you get invited for an interview for the next one. So I would say don't ever make rejections about yourself. See them as a propelling force, right? You were rejected, it's okay, that didn't work out. If you're sad, if you feel like crying, cry, acknowledge your emotions. If you need to talk to somebody about it, because it becomes too much after a while. I acknowledge that, right? But never ever let this keep you down. I learned this from one of our guests on the Rising Strong video series, who says sometimes it's okay for you to go down or to feel down. What's bad is for you to stay down. Don't ever stay down. So that's what I would say.
Alana, it's been great speaking with you, but before I let you go, one more question.
Okay.
When these vacancies are sent out, thankfully they're gracious enough to include the contact details of maybe the hiring manager or the recruitment officer. What would be the best way to connect with that person? Because I can imagine everybody wanted to send emails, messages to that particular person. How can we send a message that gets the attention of that person to at least look in your direction?
Oh, that's a wonderful question. So you're talking about before the interview, right? You're trying to just
during the application.
Yes. Oh, I love this question. I was just going to say a few days ago on LinkedIn that I was going to do a post that if you send me a hello in the DM, I'm not going to respond because it's tough. If you say hello, I say hello. say, how are you? I say, I'm fine. That kind of thing. That's not what we want to be sending to those hiring managers, right? We want to be sending messages that are clear, that are crisp, that clearly talk about why you are the solution to the challenges that you have as an organization. Remember, no organization loves to give out money. Nobody's trying to give out money. You're coming on board to solve a problem, right? So you have to identify what that problem is on the job posting. And when you're reaching out to the manager, craft your message in a way. So number one, I would say, I'll try to give a clear model. So of course you have to greet. Do not make assumptions about the gender. Very important. Even if it's a feminine name, don't go saying, oh, dear Mrs. or dear Miss. If you think it's a masculine name, don't make those assumptions. So dear first name. Some of us come from cultures where if it's a hiring manager, we want to say ma or ma.
Oh, sir.
Let's not do that. Let's not do that. I honor that. That's my culture. I still say sir and ma to people that I feel like will receive it positively. That's my culture. I honor it. But please, let's not do that when we're reaching out to strangers. So, hello, whatever the name of the person is. And then I would say I am reaching out. So I am an advocate of reaching out, telling the person what your intention is from the beginning. So I'm reaching out regarding this position.
No beating around the bush.
Some people would say beat around the bush, try to learn a little bit about them and all of those things. If that works for you, that's fine. Some of these things are also beauty in the eye of the beholder, right? It depends on what the person stands for and what they're interested in. I would say hit the nail on the head. I'm reaching out regarding this position. I have a background in this, just like your cover letter, in this, and I have been involved in projects like this where I achieved this, right? I believe that I would be able to bring, so look for two or three, the first 2 points on that job posting, those are the most important points to them. Look for a way to key your skills to those 2 points. So for example, if they've said you need to train, you'll be responsible for training volunteers, just an example. So I have experience in training. I have trained over 50 volunteers with a 95% success rate or 99% success rate. I believe that I'll be able to bring the skills to the training of volunteers at this organization to help us go find the mission and the vision of the organization. To help us achieve the vision that you write the vision there, right? And I'll be very happy to hear from you, or if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at your contact details. You don't want the person reading your message and thinking, oh, I still need this. How do I reach out to them? Or do you understand? You want to provide all the information that they need for them to reach out to you.
So clarity and call to action.
Yeah, call to action. Okay. And speak about yourself and how you will solve the problem.
That's great. Ola, you do have the launch of Hey Ola happening sometime soon. You want to talk about that very quickly?
Yes, we're doing the demo day on February 25. It's currently oversubscribed, but you can
attend.
No, you can
only hear about it.
You can join the wait list. If you click on the link, you can join the wait list, and if people pull out of attending, you would get an email letting you know that you can attend. So yeah, it's happening on the 25th.
That's next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday actually. And
what time? Where?
It's happening from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. At CIGI. I can't remember the full name now. It's at Wilfrid Laurier University. In Kitchener, I believe. Yeah.
All right. Conestoga, this is one video you have to rewatch over and again, maybe with a journal and a pen to jot down this real job preparation hacks, because you can't get this. I'm telling you for a fact, I can't get this anywhere. Just kidding. Okay, anyways, one thing she said I want to reiterate is this: you can fall, but don't stay down. And that's my wish, that even though you have fallen, if you have fallen at all, rise up, because you really can. Until the next episode, I'm your host, Mama Zawonko. It's been great speaking with Olami Shea, the founder of The Successful Newcomer. Thank you, Conestoga. Have a good day. Bye-bye.